Let me tell you a story. I was in Helena, Montana some years ago for a race for the cure. In the race was a 104-year-old woman. She was in a wheelchair being pushed by, I think it was her great-great-great-granddaughter. And very near to the end of the race, she held her hand up and her great-great-great-granddaughter stepped back, and the 104-year-old woman wheeled her own chair across the finish line. And the lady standing next to me turned to me and she said, "Isn't that wonderful? I hope we're like that at 104. And I looked at her and said, if we are still doing this at 104, we have all done something very, very wrong.
But I think it's a very important thing to set a deadline because it forces people not to just lean back and say, oh, well, we'll work on this and someday something good will come out of it. It forces people to think about trying to rack their brain to get the kinds of studies that need to be done in a way that gets a solution in the near future rather than sitting back and just thinking, well, it'll be somebody else somewhere along the line that will solve this problem.
One of the things that the NBCC has done is create a space, a domain that's highly reliable, authoritative, best in class, that allows these scientists that have a variety of skill sets and knowledge to interact with others that may not have the exact same skills.
It's resulted in a very unusual circumstance in science where a number of different labs come together on a collaborative and a voluntary basis, investing their own time and effort into mining public data on breast cancer. We started off this project, like every project, with a whole palette of possibilities. And as important as it is to rule things in, it is perhaps more important to rule things out so that we can narrow our focus.
We're very excited about potential opportunities to continue the alliance and the collaborative efforts between not only the scientists, but the regulatory bodies, the clinicians, and clearly the patient advocates that allow us to really recognize that this long-term goal will have an enormous long-term impact.
It's time to give breast cancer a deadline. That's why I applaud the National Breast Cancer Coalition's courage to launch this ambitious campaign to end breast cancer by 2020. The stakes are too high, the losses have been too great to let another decade go by without a cure. And if I know anyone who can do this, it's you.